You're listening to The Driven, the podcast that gives you the news and the views, the ins and the outs on electric vehicles. The Driven podcast is presented by Sam Parkinson and Sarah Aubrey and is proudly brought to you by the Australian Electric Vehicle Association, Australia's leading voice for electric vehicle consumers and enthusiasts. The AEVA is a volunteer-run, not-for-profit community dedicated to electrifying Australia's transport as quickly as possible. Why not join the AEVA today? Visit aeva.asn.au/membership.
Hello and welcome to the Driven podcast. Today's guest has been talking about electric cars since, long before doing so was a sensible career choice. Robert Llewellyn, the founder of Fully Charged, now everything electric. And for well over a decade, he's been explaining batteries, charging and electric vehicles to an audience that has grown from a small collection of early adopters to, pretty much the entire car industry now. We've got the Everything Electric show coming up in Sydney, which Everything Electric obviously run. Robert won't be there personally, but we're very excited about the event. Sarah and I will be there. We're very happy to have Robert back on the podcast to discuss that and many more things, I'm sure. Robert, thank you very much for coming on again to the Driven podcast.
No, it is definitely my pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me.
And of course, a warm welcome to the usual co-host, not to be left behind, Sarah Aubrey from Electrify This. So I didn't have an intro written for you this time, Sarah.
Thanks.
Thanks
so much, Sam. That's as usual.
Makes you feel needed, doesn't it?
Yeah. Forgotten as usual. It's fine.
Now, the first question that I have, and it's the most pressing question, is Robert Llewellyn, have you seen the movie Alien?
Yes.
Of course,
Okay,
yes.
never mind. Let's move on. I haven't.
Not only have I seen the movie Alien, okay, I can do a little bit of a very, very short showbiz anecdote. Okay. One of my best friends from many years ago was a film editor. That meant that they actually used strips of cellulose and with pictures on it, and they'd go through a machine. And in the big office that he worked in, Soho, in the centre of London, it was a big editing company. They edited all sorts of things, mostly TV commercials and commercial stuff, but they did edit films, and the woman who ran that company edited Alien. And in their front, the reception thing was a glass case about that long, wasn't that big, small glass case with the baby alien rubber model in it.
No.
So I've seen the real
alien
Sam
that
comes hasn't actually seen that film, so that was the point. So he won't know what you're talking about. I know.
Well, look, I should have known that you were the type to have seen it. That's okay.
So,
That's
Robert,
But is that a standard question you ask, and then you can judge someone's character?
Just to put it in context,
Yes.
we were talking about indicator sounds, and I love the Polestar indicator sounds. I think the Polestar sound is like the tracker in Aliens. You know, when they're like, and they're like, but they're 10 meters, 5 meters. No, but they're in the room.
It's right
that
above
doesn't
you.
make sense. And lift up the roof, and it's that sound.
Wow.
And I was saying that to Sam, and he was like, I said, have you seen that film? And he's like, no.
Because yes, we've just driven to Italy in a Polestar 3, and I was indicating all the time for no reason, just because I like the sound.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's a lovely. Because they can be the most annoying sound.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding,
Yes,
God,
exactly.
horrible.
Are you
Yes,
funny
no,
about sounds that go backwards? Because I feel like tick, 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 or tick, 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 tick.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh my God, I'm going to notice it now, and it's going to drive me
Sorry.
mad. I've lived 70 years without being the slightest bit worried about that, and you've ruined the remaining few
sorry,
years
I
of my life.
apologize. I apologize in advance.
It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind. You can actually just reverse it in your head if you just
I'm
restart
going
Where did it
to
start?
get so upset
Yeah.
by that.
Yeah.
So true.
Indicator sounds aside, as
Yes,
important as they are. Well, 12 months ago, you came on the podcast, and I remember asking you, what has the last 12 months been like from your perspective in the EV market? Now, you're obviously based over there in the UK, but you're quite close and familiar with the Australian market and Australia as well. For us, as you will know, the last 12 months have been quite big in terms of the EV market. Very exciting indeed. Record sales, consistently now looking like we're well over 20% for new car sales being battery electric vehicles, which is a big improvement on where we were just even a year or two ago.
Yeah.
How are things looking from where you're sitting, not just in Australia, but generally speaking?
I mean, I think globally it's an extraordinary. There's extraordinary levels of growth. So that, and I think what's interesting now is finding out about the countries that we don't generally talk about. So, if you live in the electric vehicle bubble, you might think Europe, North America, Australasia, China. And there's a huge amount going on in all those. Not all of it good in North America, in the United States. But there is still stuff happening there, which is interesting. And there are new electric vehicles coming out in the USA that are interesting and that aren't massive, $100,000 SUVs. But the places that I'm fascinated by, Singapore now, it's just over 90% new vehicles are electric. All their taxes are. I didn't know that. I mean, it's not a big country,
Really?
and it's not a. But they've gone hell for leather, full on electric ground transport. Malaysia, huge thing. Ethiopia, we don't cover Ethiopia very often. Ethiopia it's completely a groundswell. It's the people. It's not a government mandate. It's not, it's going, wait a minute, the oil supply is not secure. It's not reliable.
Wow.
It's too volatile. They don't have any indigenous oil or gas there. So they're importing all of it. It's billions of dollars leaving their economy all the time. They are, I think, about over 90% renewably powered in Ethiopia because of hydro and now wind and solar. Why
Isn't
are you
that
paying
interesting
for
that a
fuel?
country
You don't
that
need it.
imports so much of its fuel is doing that, yet Australia's in the same position, but we haven't
Yes.
made that shift.
Well,
yet,
yes,
so
I
to
know.
speak.
I think, but I mean, also they're buying, they're buying small Chinese electric cars, and it's China is really the huge change, and I mean that is reflected in this country now. I was at where there were a load of chargers in a row, like outside. It was outside a hotel, and there was a lot of, destination chargers in a row, and there were, out of the 9 vehicles there, 4 of them were Chinese. I just wanted one. I registered it. The others were European or Teslas.
Wow.
But the fact that 4 of them were Chinese, just randomly in a random car park out quite near Heathrow, just is like, that's a normal sight now. So the number of Chinese cars here it's higher here than in the rest of Europe. So I've had the advantage of driving across Europe recently, and I mean the charging infrastructure. Because it's not that bad here, but when you go in France, Italy, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, Denmark, every single car park, it doesn't have 3 rapid chargers in the corner with a green painted grout floor with a leaf on it. There's 80. There's 140 of them, just disappearing.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes, and then all the car parks covered in solar panels. Oh, what? Why are they doing this? How can they do this, and why haven't we done it? So that's that frustration. So we drove to it. It is really true, and it's a cliche I'd said, but on that journey I kind of registered it. I went, no, this is really true. Our anxieties on a long journey, and you do have them. It's a long way. We were driving for 2 days. Where'd you go for a wee? Number one, overarching. Number one, are there toilets here? Number 2, could be good to get a coffee. We're going to swap drivers and da-da-da-da. About number 5, I suppose we should charge the car. It was such a low, it was a genuine low priority.
That is
everywhere
so
we
interesting.
stopped, we have parked a Polestar 3 next to about 40 rapid chargers, and we didn't plug in because we didn't need to.
Wow.
Pointless, we had more than enough to get where we were going. And so that experience really is I think a shift that's happened in the last, post-COVID, the last 4 or 5 years, is that infrastructure. And that's the same. It is so much better here than it used to be. And the chargers generally work. I haven't come across a dud charger for a long time. And you can generally use them just with a debit card or they're easier to access. So that stuff has improved enormously in the UK.
Is that in the
and
UK as
off
well?
the scale. That's in the UK as well. But I mean, it does feel, I suppose the big difference is, and this is another contentious issue, we charged at a Tesla supercharger in right down in the south of France. And I checked off, and I use the app for that. And so you can plug a Polestar in, it still works, it's no problem. Very fast, they always work. And that was 29 cents a kilowatt hour in the middle of the day. And you just go, why can they do that? Because here it would be the equivalent of a euro a kilowatt hour.
Really?
Yeah, it can be. You can pay up to 89, 90 pence a kilowatt hour. I mean, what's interesting is if you really need to use a charger and it's really busy everywhere, go to the really expensive ones because there'll be no one there.
Wow.
And you're going to use the cheaper one down the road. So there is now at last a price war amongst the chargers. So you can charge for as little as 40 pence a kilowatt hour, but never 29 cents. That's about 20p. That's about 29 cents Australia for a kilowatt hour on a Tesla supercharger at 220 kilowatts.
Do you know how they're able to do that?
I mean, their electricity is cheaper in France because of nuclear.
Right. Okay. Makes sense.
But, they've got some issues.
Except when you have to turn it off when it's too hot.
Except when you have to turn it off because there's no water in the rivers and the water's too hot. Apart from that, and apart from they don't have any more room to store the waste. They've run out of that. That's a big problem for them. They're not the generation my age who built all the nuclear power plants. They're fine. They'll be dead. But their children, oh my God, they have a massive stockpile of highly toxic nuclear waste and nowhere to put it.
Oh dear.
Which is,
good
that's
times.
the downside
Tomorrow's
of
problem.
the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, it sounds
Looking
like
forward to
tomorrow's
that.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
okay.
problem. That's fine. Yeah.
But yes, it is. No, but anyway, sorry, that was a lot of waffle. But I mean, I think in general, and I think this is where I feel it affects all of us, people like us, is that that we have gone through a pivot, and that the general public, who aren't interested in cars, and why should they be, and don't care about any of this nonsense, they're far more likely now to lease or buy a second-hand electric car than they were a year ago, and that's a lot to do with my glorious hero of 2026, the Orange Emperor in the United States, who has made such a monumental mess of the Straits of Hormuz. It's 100% his fault. Everyone's going, I don't want to have to rely on petrol. Look at it, it goes up. It's not reliable. There's particularly in Australia. I want something that's reliable. What is reliable? Well, the sun comes out every day. So I've got solar panels on my house. I've got a battery in my front, joined to the side of the house. I'll get an electric car. So I think that it's quite frustrating. 16 years of my life promoting and trying to argue the case for electric cars. I just should have invaded Iran. Would have saved so much time.
Yeah, sounds easy.
Damn.
Yes. Sounds
with a paper
easy.
airplane.
That's
Have that.
That's right. So, okay. Yeah, did you say the Orange Emperor? I don't think I've heard that
Orange
one before.
Emperor,
I've heard
that's
of
gold.
yeah.
Well, I mean, Mango Mussolini is the other one. which I
Oh,
quite
That's
like.
not, that's good.
Even better.
That's not bad.
What,
That's not
what
bad.
would be the temp if you were going to take the temperature of the UK right now in terms of electric cars? What would it be?
Oh, I suppose it's warmer, isn't it? Yes, I'm trying to work out which way it
Apart
goes.
from it actually being in a heat wave.
If we're in a heat wave, I mean, today and tomorrow are going to be our hottest days so far. It's going to be very, very sticky.
So I know that you say Iran has the Iran conflict has affected it, but the petrol prices in the UK
and Russia and Ukraine as well. The two of them, I think, have had.
The UK can still refine its own petrol, can't it? I think it's diesel that went up in the UK. Is that correct? More so?
I mean, I'm going to. All fossil fuel prices have gone up. Certainly, they've not gone cheaper. I mean, we have 3 huge refineries in the UK. They're really big. So we refine all our fuel here. It's, if you like, we actually import crude oil and refine it. Because I filmed at one of them, and they are amazing. They're incredible industrial processes. I mean, they're on a scale that is baffling. It's big stuff.
Because we had a bit of a panic. I feel like there was a bit of panic here when the Iran conflict kicked off. Would you agree, Sam? I feel like that's how we got to 20% with our deliveries.
Yeah.
Did that happen in the
Definitely.
UK as well?
I mean, there's certainly been a massive increase in sales. I think not quite on the scale of because I'm not going to remember the right names. This is always my failing. But I did a podcast with the head of BYD in Australia. Is that Jack? Do you know who that is? Oh, anyway, he was amazing. But they had, yeah, we'll call him Jack. Whatever. I can't. And I'll look it up in a minute. I'll be very embarrassed.
Yep.
But they had 2 shiploads of BYD cars on their way to Australia. This is a few months ago. And they'd sold lots of their cars that were in showrooms. So they didn't have anything to show people. They just sold everything. And by the time those ships had landed in Australia, all the cars were sold that were on board. And each ship has 6,000 cars. So, it was definitely a thing happened in Australia without question, isn't it? I mean, I wasn't there when that happened, but I could sense last time I was there. So I was in Australia in January this year, and I could really sense a change there, which I think is more impressive than here. Here, people already bought lots of small petrol cars in cities. That wasn't a big thing. We don't do. I mean, there are pickup trucks, utes here, but very, very few. It's a very minority thing. There's big SUVs by the ton, but that transition to electric vehicles is less of a jump. Whereas if you've got a 3-ton ute in Australia with bull bars and massive tyres, and you buy a BYD Atto 3, that's quite a big. That's a leap rather than a step.
So in July, I'm just reading a few stats from the UK. In July, in the UK there was 43,000 electric vehicles sold, and about 27.5% of the market share. So more than a quarter, 1 in 4 being sold, but not a huge increase on what we're seeing in Australia, where we're kind of getting around that 22% mark.
The change is in Australia, I think. Exactly. I mean, the big shift in the graph. The graph here is sort of going up slowly, whereas the graph it was kind of fairly low, and it's gone.
We've gone up, yes, and I think Sarah and I would agree that we're not going to continue seeing this kind of trajectory, forever. It's not possible. Obviously, this fuel crisis has kick-started the market, but do I think that we can stay above 20% consistently for the rest of the year and into 27? One thing that's interesting is the top 10 models in the UK. Just looking at that compared to Australia, in Australia we had the Tesla Model Y is by far and away the most popular electric vehicle, and then second you've got BYD C-Line, then you've got so for last month I think the EX5 came third, the Zeekr 7X and the JQ J5, the BYD Atto 2. And then you get to the Kia EV3, and then I think Geely's new EX2 came in somewhere in the top 10 as well. But if you look at what people were buying in the UK in terms of new vehicles, you got the Renault 5 last month, which is the top. I don't know if that's consistently top of the list or not.
Just incredibly, it's so obvious. Also because they're yellow. So you drive down the highway and there's yellow going the other way.
We want that vehicle here in Australia.
It's so good. It is such a.
I'm just devastated we don't have it here.
Yeah. Well, can I quickly tell you, this is how popular the damn Renault 5 is. The production company were loaned one. That's like me. I'm part of that. Loaned one. The old man. We had it for a year. So and everyone
you didn't get a look in, did you?
And I said. I had it for four days. Why? How come? And then it was at my house. I was loving it. My wife loved it. We were great. It was great. And then the team came here and we filmed something. And then they go, we're taking it.
Why? You need to put your foot down, Robert. That's not good enough.
Come on. Be a diva.
Come on. Be a diva. Come on.
Do you know who I am?
It's a great little car. It is great. But also, I'm about to get a Renault 4. Just for a couple of weeks, which a loaner, which is I've driven it for like an hour, so it's one of those cars where I'm really interested to find out what this is really like.
Desperate.
It's slightly bigger. I think it's the same footprint, but it's a slightly different design. And I passed my driving test in my mum's Renault 4 in 1970. Blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
You'd better have a photo somewhere you can bring up when you talk about that.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I've looked. I can't find one. There should be one somewhere.
Interestingly, the EV3 came in number 2 last month in July in the UK.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
I own that car. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Very
Sarah.
nice. Yeah.
And then if you just look at the top 10 in general, there's actually there's only the JQ that really that comes from China. The rest are your European sort of traditional powerhouses. So that's quite different to Australia. I mean, is it? I know you mentioned that you've seen quite a lot of more, I guess, a lot more electric vehicles from China in the UK. But is it? Do you think it's to the same? Is it to the same extent, or was last month a bit of an anomaly?
No, I mean it isn't. The fact that I noticed them because they're different, and I know those brands.
Yes,
there's so many European electric cars. I don't notice them. I mean that's the normal thing is that there are, the Skodas and the Renaults and even the Fiats. I mean, and there's we're going to go and see the new Citroën deux Chevaux, which they're relaunching as an electric car, which will be, I'm really looking. And what's annoying is there's so many AI generated possible. It might look like this. I keep thinking I've seen it, but I haven't. No one's seen it yet. But so that
all these cars
I think
we don't get. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
It is.
But then there's cars. My first experience of Xpeng of quite a lot of Chinese brands was in Australia, not here. We didn't have them here. So now
you got Geely quite late
I
compared to us, I think.
Yes, you're getting all that first. And what's great is you're getting it first, but it also means it's right-hand drive, which means they are making right-hand drivers, which means we do get them because that's that weirdness of the fact that we drive on the same side of the road. But they're making that decision to I think Australia is being used as a test bed in a way, isn't it, by the Chinese companies? If we can sell this there, we'll probably sell it in Europe as well. So there's definitely a terror amongst European manufacturers that the Chinese are coming, and they've seen the cars. They've all been to Shanghai and Beijing Motor Show, and they've looked around and gone, these are not rubbish. These are really well made, really good cars. I mean, that was a thing that Elliot, who we worked with in Shanghai, when he went round, I think that was the Shanghai Motor Show, the first one after COVID, and he followed this gaggle of European car executives, and he just said they looked at every stand going like that, and they'd look at the battery technology and go, they just went with.
I even noticed that because you were at Shanghai, weren't you?
Last year, yeah.
And I was there, and I noticed that at the stands that were internal combustion engine, they were quite empty, like they were quite sparse, but you'd have some of these electric vehicle stands and they were just packed, absolutely packed, and brands that I'd never heard of. It was extraordinary. But the interest definitely seemed to be EV.
Yeah, and that changed. So I went to Goodwood this year because there were 2 cars being unveiled there, that we hadn't seen, and we didn't film anything. And this was partly it was a sort of emotional, a shallow emotional response, and it was incredibly hot, which, I mean, all the other Goodwoods I've been to, it's raining. So it was so hot. And the MG stand around the new MG, which I haven't seen because I couldn't get anywhere. I've seen pictures of it. There was probably, I'm going to say 400, but there were hundreds of influencers with their phones talking about the car. A lot of Chinese people, really a large number of Chinese women in particular, and you couldn't get near the car. And we'd been invited by MG to do, and they were kind of going, "Oh yeah, come in." I just go, "Mate, I'm not
going in
competing
there
with this. I'm 50 years too old to deal with this, But I mean, so the whole sort of the media landscape has changed to such a degree that it's worth MG. It's worth BYD. We've experienced the same thing where they invited like a dozen old white men to test drive the car and make a video about it. And meanwhile, there were 3,500, and we do know that because that's the number they told us, 3,500 influencers in this big hall, Alexandra Palace, with their doing their stuff, And there were people it was great in a way. It was the car reviewers were all old white heterosexual men, really dull. Couldn't get duller men. And the influence was every race on this planet was represented there, and every age from 12 to 23.
Are they car influencers, or are they just influencers in general?
I mean, a lot of them are paid. The companies will pay them to go there and stand around. So they'll talk to the camera, probably about their eyelashes. I'm being sexist, about their muscles, their men, with the car in the background. I think the car was so secondary.
Now.
Sorry, yes, do I? And actually, one of my good mates wears false eyelashes, and he's a man.
There you go.
I've actually got great eyelashes myself.
You do.
So I've been
Very
told.
so
pretty.
lucky.
Thank you.
Because I've got no eyebrow. I want eyebrows. I've got no eyebrows. My hairdresser trimmed my eyebrows and went, there's nothing there. Oh. So I've always wanted eyebrows. I've never had them.
Shall we talk about everything electric,
Sorry.
by the way?
Yes.
Oh,
show
yeah. I suppose
Sydney?
we should at some point.
Oh, that. Yes.
That
For
thing.
anyone tuning in who's actually interested in the show, we will talk
Yes,
about that.
that's very.
Shall we
you
talk
make a
about the
very
show?
Good point.
You probably know more about it than us, Robert. Do you?
Well,
know more
I
about
should do, and this is my slight anxiety. I'm just now checking.
I can confirm it's in Sydney in September.
Yes, I can see that bit.
Yes, well, let's start there.
Actually, before we
September-
continue, the head of
Yeah.
BYD in Australia is Stephen Collins. Just saying. I thought
so
it was
wasn't
Stephen.
him.
No?
That's not who I spoke to. I spoke to
Well,
someone else.
from henceforth,
Yeah,
he'll be known as Jack. I
Maybe
think.
there's been a...
Sorry,
Yes,
Stephen.
yeah.
Yes, if you're watching this, I have spoken to Stephen, but not this. Wasn't with him.
Okay.
Jack is short for Stephen, I'm sure. Anyway,
Oh, God,
carry on.
don't.
That's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I'm the same with names, by the way.
No, yes. Oh, God. 18, 19, 20th of September at the
Yep.
Olympic Park in the beautiful city of Sydney, Australia.
That's right.
And it's going. This is according to the people who actually are on the ground organising it all. It's going to be huge,
Huge.
huge. So it's going to be. It's the most car manufacturers' stands and test drives that we've ever done in our. Good. Here we go. I've got some highlights. This is perfect. This is like breaking news. I've
Excellent.
just been sent some.
Is this an exclusive?
Okay, what's this? Highlights about Sydney. It'll be the biggest show we've ever done globally. So we can already tell this now. We've sold more stands, more car stands. So I think she'll give me numbers soon. They're coming through on the hotline.
Amazing.
live.
They haven't arrived yet.
I can see this
Wow,
year you've
so-
got a micro-mobility test track, you've got electric motorbike test ride experience, you've got commercial vehicle zone. This is on top of, obviously, other
Yeah.
marine.
You've got a
pavilion.
marine section as well, a boating sort of.
Yeah,
section
marine
as well.
pavilion.
Yeah.
The energy advice
That is
zone.
Did you
embarrassing.
know
I
this,
didn't know
Robert?
that. No, I didn't know
Yes.
about the marine. I knew everything else. The marine thing, because I'm thinking
be
Olympic
filling it
Park.
with
It's not,
water. No, they
it's not
won't.
exactly on the beach.
No, I don't think there'll be moored outside the pavilion, but
So I know there's a lot. That was one thing I have been party to. I mean, I think it's important to explain to your viewers and listeners that I've never organised the shows, and it's just as well, because if I did, they would have been an absolute disaster. It's not my skill set. So there's an amazing team, many of whom are Australian and live in Australia, that are involved in running the show, which is wonderful. It was always our dream, was in a sense that it was talked about for a great deal of time about me not going to shows, because the whole idea was that if we can set it up and it can run indigenously, if you like, that's so much better than us coming in and trying to do it. We had to do that to start it, but the whole idea is that it will do it. And Sydney has just been this amazing, an amazing success. But there's an enormous amount of stuff there about home energy, about the latest batteries, about the latest, home energy control systems, and a lot of that. So there's a lot of that on display, which has always been really. I've always wanted to make that part of the whole mix. It's not just cars; it's very much the broader.
And advice, if you want to electrify your
And
house.
advice, yeah.
Anyone wanting to do that, you go along. There's experts
Yeah.
there, actual home
that are
assessors
trying to
who
sell
can
you
chat
something
to.
as well. That's
Exactly.
I mean, I think that's the thing
Yeah.
with the car. So we now know we've done over 180,000 test drives around the world, and I think there's it's quite interesting hearing the manufacturers talk about this as well as the public. Is the people we've spoken to that people I don't know who did a test drive. They said it was really good because they said, yeah, here you go, there's the keys, this is the route, it'll say that. And they don't do anything. They don't say, so are you interested? Can we write your name down? Can we contact you?
It's
Nothing.
a non-pressure, non-pressure environment.
Yeah, and what the car companies say is, we deliberately do not push them. And then they come to us. It's the other way around. They do not need, and they said we learnt really early on, if we go, well, we're doing a discount on this, the people just walked away. And as soon as they say nothing, it's a really interesting
psychology
model,
there, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's worked beautifully in Australia. I mean, there's a lot of interest, and I think this is what I was saying earlier on about, the fact that I'm not there is not devastating to the event, because people are coming there for the cars and for the information and for the stuff, the technology. They want to see it firsthand. They want to meet the people who are producing it and doing it. That's the motivating force. It's not.
I think that idea of being able just to do the test drives without having to go to different dealerships as well, just in the same
it's
place,
all in one place.
No salespeople. You just drive the car. And I think, when you started doing the shows a few years ago, EVs were definitely in Australia much more in a niche sort of place.
Yes.
So people would come and go, I just want to check these things out because I don't see them very often. I wonder what's it like to drive. Do they actually exist? And now it's kind of gone from that to, well, I'm looking to buy an EV, so I want to go here so I can test drives and see what the latest models are and make a decision on what my next vehicle will be, rather than just this kind of this sort of niche sort of sector, which maybe one day in 10 years' time I might buy an EV, but actually now it's just people looking for the next car.
And it's not even the time you'll save from going around to all those dealerships, traveling across town, having to do all those things, drive in horrible traffic. It's being able to compare it on the same route, back to back.
Yes, that's true. Yeah,
you're driving on the same road. Really
Yeah.
compare back to back, same route, everything, and go, okay, now you can really decide.
Yes.
I think.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah. I'm not actually. I'm so ashamed now that I've managed to be involved in these shows for nearly 10 years, and I've never even thought of that. That's such a good point.
That's not for you to figure out. That's the marketing team. They should.
Often. I mean, I'm completely unaware. At the actual events, I'm completely unaware of the test drives.
I know. I've never gone on one.
Yeah, I don't even see it. Last time I was in Sydney, I actually went and watched the people getting in the cars and going, "Oh my God, this is huge!"
I mean, it's a machine. Like, it's such a well-oiled machine, like
non-stop.
In and out, in and out. It's amazing. But I've never done. Maybe I'll do it this year.
Yeah, have a test drive or something. Yeah.
See if we can find something we haven't driven.
Yes, exactly. You've driven everything.
I think Hyundai will have if you want to drive a van, I think they got their Stario, their full electric Stario, which will be brand new there.
That'd be cool.
That might be interesting.
I totally review vans now. It's great. I love it.
Yes,
the
van
But
specialist.
I'm impressed, Sam, that you. I mean, maybe you had the list in front of you, but I knew all the cars you were referring to once you said their names. I was going, yes, I know that one. Oh, yeah, I know that. I know what that is. But I'm not very good at recalling them at the time. And very briefly, last year it was, I got quite cross with the team because I saw a review of a car and I went, wait, this is outrageous. Why haven't we done this? And it got a lot of views. This is another competitor of ours in the UK. They're not competitors, colleagues. But anyway, I was going, why haven't we done this? And normally I will get a reply immediately going, shut up, old man, you know nothing, or some funny thing. This time there was nothing for a while. And then later I realized there was a discussion had, because then suddenly a link appeared, a YouTube link. I clicked it and it was me driving the car that I was angry about that we hadn't done. I mean, admittedly, it was like 8 months before.
That's all right. That's fair.
It's so difficult now.
I can't even remember what I was driving 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, but if you think of it from marketing and design and how a car looks, a Renault 5 is an incredible blessing for Renault, because I do remember that. I'm not going to forget that car. Why can I remember a Renault 5 and not a sort of greyish SUV thing that I can't? I know I've driven it.
I can't forget the Renault 5 and I haven't even driven it.
Yeah, but I mean, they're nice. The thing is, I'll often drive a car and go, I really enjoyed being in that car. It's really comfortable. It goes a long way. It's really efficient. The software works. I can't remember what it is. I can't remember what make it is.
Yeah, but you remember the feeling. That's the important thing.
I can remember the feeling of being in it. Yeah.
What have you been driving at the moment, Robert?
Whoops. I'm trying to remember. Well, I mean, the sort of longest drive I've done is obviously the Polestar 3, which is just, it is really, really nice.
It's
a nice car.
Very easy. And we were moving Australian mates back here we met them in Italy, and the car was full of bags and things, and it was fine, And I loved, normally I do enjoy driving, but on a long journey like that, you get tired. I was voting to sit in the back. I had a little pillow, and I was going through the Alps, the sunroof. Oh my God, was just their glass roof is just amazing. So I could see, I was lying back in a car looking at snow-capped mountains.
Oh,
or listening to Australians talking quite loud and laughing. Very loud.
Those two things don't really go together, do they?
Yeah. But no, I'm trying to think, what have I... the Honda, the little Honda N. You'll be getting that in Australia, surely, the Honda Super N.
Super-One?
Super-One. There's a little purple thing.
The little...
Is this that's the thing. Yes, that's the thing we didn't get the cake for, which we spoke about last episode. They sent out cakes, Robert. Do you know anyone at Honda?
Sent out cake to some people, Robert. They didn't send
Honda
it out
Super
to
N.
us.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't get a cake.
Okay,
no,
good.
we didn't get a cake
I got
either.
a car, but I didn't get a cake.
Oh,
well, we didn't get either.
No, we didn't get a car. It's just...
I don't think the car's
their
out
car, I loved it. It's so...
I got a press release. That's what I got.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's what I got too.
That was a great little... Because it's just what I feel the human race needs if we're going to continue using cars. Can we have them really small, really light, really cheap, really simple? That's what that is.
We're all in agreement about it.
You've come to the right place, Robert, if you want to talk about...
We're not entirely representative of the Australian population at this point.
No, we're not. No.
You know what I've got right now is the MG4, refreshed MG4.
Ooh. Just because I've got an MG4.
I know you've got an MG4, right?
But do you have to turn off the lane keeping assistant when you get in it?
No, because it's got the MG Pilot. So you literally go swipe, you decide what you want on and off, swipe down. And even with it on, it didn't feel as jerky as the old one was. And 2 taps, Robert, and the car is how you want it to be. Everything about your car obviously the driving dynamics are fantastic.
Yeah.
But everything that was kind of a little bit disappointing, like the interior being a bit cheapy, utilitarian, plasticky, the software being a bit laggy, everything has been fixed. Everything.
Right.
It's got a light headliner. It doesn't have a light in the back, and it doesn't have vents in the back. That's probably the only thing that I can think of that they didn't fix. And I'm like, who cares? Because now it is just new seats, everything's soft touch, nice premium materials. I was like, wow, this is... And 40 grand here. 39,990 drive away. Drive away.
Wow.
In Australia.
Wow.
Yes.
That is, I mean, because the thing is that I've driven a long way in that. I love it. Once I've turned off everything that is annoying, it's fun. And it's an absolute habit. I don't ever forget to do it. But once that's done, it's one of the best cars I've driven. And it's the range of it, considering the size and the weight it's just amazing. I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on. This time of year in the UK, it's remarkable how
it's like back to the top of the list as far as I'm concerned.
Right,
it's just
I think you're right.
So
that's
been
really
improved.
Good. Yeah.
Now that you're talking about the Essence, aren't you, Sarah? Because we've got the Urban as well, which is like the entry.
I'm talking about the Essence. I'm talking about the original MG4, not the Urban. Has now been updated. 39,990 drive away, 452 kilometres of range, still got 6.6 kilowatt AC charging, 153 kilowatt DC charging, which is great. And the big thing is it only comes in one variant now, which is the 64 kilowatt hour battery. There's still the X-Power, but they've gotten rid of the other 2 variants. But that 64 kilowatt hour battery is LFP.
Well, and one extra thing I want to note about that car, and it's actually I've noticed it quite a trend as well. Prices between these cars in Australia versus the UK. So that one, for example, 39,990 drive away in Australia. In the UK, it's about £30,000 before taxes. So we're looking about 58 to 60,000 Australian dollars. So an extra $20,000 for the same car. And that's not just for that car, but that's just for that's across
universal.
the board.
Yeah.
Which is quite a staggering difference, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing we have is I can remember being here, talking to Elliot in Shanghai, then going to Australia, seeing how much cars cost there, then speaking to him. So I'd see in China it was there, in Australia it was there, in the UK it was there. That is so unfair.
For those listening in audio form, he was expanding his finger, by the way.
It's this big. Sorry. But ironically, we complain here about how expensive cars are. Oh, it's too expensive. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
go to England. Buy one in England and drive it back to Australia. Then you'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're getting an influx of cheaper electric vehicles this year in Australia so far, particularly hatchbacks. We just got the EX2 which was officially launched last week. Already they sold 500 just last month before they've even really kicked off. And, starting in the mid-20s up to the high 20s by the time you get it on road. But then GAC have come back and said, excuse me, but we're going to release a cheaper version of the Ion UT, and haven't released the price yet. But we can expect that to be in the early to mid-20s as well. So there's really a price war happening. Yeah. Yeah, there's quite an aggressive price war happening in Australia, and to the benefit of consumers. But interesting to see the differences in prices around the world.
And it is. I mean, obviously, if it's coming from China, it's coming further than it is to get to you.
That's true. Use
a bit more bunker fuel to move the boat, and presumably now, I would imagine going through the Suez Canal is probably a little bit challenging. I don't even know. I mean, everything. Just let's not go there.
But even Robert, even European brands, the differences are there as well. Like if you take the Skoda Elrock, for example, in Australia, it's about 50,000 drive away, I think, and so it's still about 10,000 cheaper than it would be in the UK. I don't want to just spend all time bashing UK prices, but it's just fascinating to me that Australia being such a remote location, it feels like away from the rest of the world, we're managing somehow to still get some reasonable prices. But anyway, it's just one of those interesting things.
I mean, that's a thing I'm writing at the moment about the cost of living crisis. I have a problem with that term because it's used all the time. I've, in my entire life, I've never known. It's just the cost of living normality. Yes. I don't think it's a crisis. It's not particular now. Yes, prices have gone up, but they've gone up before, and I have never been aware. Oh my God, a loaf of bread is so much cheaper now than it was a year ago. That would be a crisis, and then it's gone. It just goes up, and it stays there, then it goes up again. I'm now doing movements with my fingers in an upward direction, but for listeners. But that side of things is, it's always the world has got more expensive. Particularly, it feels like here. And one of the weird things that's countered that is technology. The cost of a cell phone when they first came out when I was young. They were They were comically, ridiculously expensive. It cost like £2 a minute to talk to someone on your big, your yuppie cell phone thing, and now that's pretty much free, and international calls, things like that, so for Judy to call her mum in Brisbane, I don't know what it does cost us some pennies because of the internet connection, but that's it. Whereas that call would have cost many dollars, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, you'd have to call on a telephone. You couldn't hear them. It was a terrible connection. You always spoke over each other. Yeah. So that's got better. But I just think that is just a bugbear of mine at the moment. We live in a constant crisis. I think that's probably
yes. I remember sending text messages. Maybe you'd have to be careful with how many characters you put in it.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
50 cents a message. I remember
something like that. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
Yes. Well, yes, it's good to see some smaller ones coming because, as you said before, we've got such a big sort of obsession with big vehicles. So seeing a few more of the smaller vehicles in Australia is good. I mean, I just wonder whether, I don't know what it's like in the UK. Have you guys? I mean, you haven't got such a big car issue over there in the UK or in Europe generally, as far as I know. But correct me if I'm wrong. We're just waiting here in Australia to get to the point where we realise that we don't actually. An electric car doesn't necessarily have to resemble a small bungalow and weigh 2.5 tons in order for it to be a useful purchase.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I mean, what I do find interesting, and you sort of got to look at it from a kind of global perspective, but it is the two things that have happened this year. It was around 10 or 12 years ago, I was on a panel at a conference, and one of the other speakers on the panel was had a very high-level executive role in Ferrari, and I can't remember his name, and I don't know who he was. He was very funny, very entertaining Italian guy who spoke with enormous passion that electric cars were probably the way that the future is happening, but it will never be a Ferrari. The Ferrari is all about the passion and the noise and the da-da-da-da. He did a great speech, and I thought, fine, no one cares, fine, And then this year I went to Rome to see the new electric Ferrari Luce, which is exquisite, I will say. It is off the scale. It's £500,000. So it would probably be $700,000. And everyone, all the car reviewers, all the heterosexual white men that were looking at it, there were possibly some women. There were some women there. I just remembered. Hated it, thought it was awful, thought it was an abomination, and that Ferrari will destroy the brand. And they'd sold their entire output for the next year within a couple of months. And these are phenomenally expensive cars. But
yes.
So beautifully made. But then the other one I think the other three that are intriguing, the electric Range Rover, which I was really annoyed. I was busy and I couldn't go to the launch of that, so I haven't driven that. The new Jag that's coming out, and the one that I'm very excited about, I'm not sure if I'm even meant to mention, I think I can mention it, is the new Bentley. So there's an electric Bentley. And that will be a £250,000 car, I'm sure. So, over $500,000 it will be. But I haven't seen it. I don't know anything about it. But they haven't just sort of put some batteries in an existing Bentley. It's a new model. They built a whole new production line at their factory to make this particular car. I just think it's interesting that they finally, all the car companies that are absolutely of the traditional, this is what we do, our legacy is about the combustion engines and the exquisite manufacturing and the quality. And they've kind of gone, I think we need to do this.
Yeah.
Finally, it's taken them long enough, but I'm really pleased. I don't think it's a bad thing that there are some stupidly expensive electric cars being made, because they affect the percentage of the human population that buy them is so infinitesimally tiny.
Could we see the new Bentley or the Ferrari at the everything electric show? That'd be great if we could just test drive it. There'd be a bit of a queue for that.
Yeah, all the Bentley test drives are booked. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's weird.
But not by the public, just by the crew.
Just by Robert. He's just doing 20 laps around.
Lap after lap.
I don't know. I've got a feeling we'll be very lucky if we get. I mean, I would love it if we had the new Jag, the Ferrari Luce, the Bentley, and the electric Range Rover, and that was all.
Too exclusive.
We've gone up
They
market.
won't do it.
Yeah.
They won't do it.
Everything electric posh, it would be called.
Talk to your team. Yes.
How
much are the tickets for that one? Yeah.
Knightsbridge, invitation only.
Everything electric. I've got too much money. That's what we'll call it.
Yes. What do I do with all this money? Yes.
In Australia, I think it'd have to be everything electric barrel. I think it'd have to be one of those sort of well-to-do Southern
Everything
Highlands
electric
areas.
billionaires.
Vaucluse.
Vaucluse is nice, isn't it? I went to a friend's house in Vaucluse.
Yes.
I didn't know anything about it. Very pretty. They were on the harbour.
Yes. Yeah, it tends to be like that over there. Yeah.
Yes, you can almost smell the money over there. Yes.
Yes. Well, have a chat to your operations team on getting some of those cars into the thing. Speaking of your operations teams, Robert, Dan Caesar, who has been running the show for some time now, he's stepping back.
Yes.
What's he's running. Are you going to step in? What's happening?
No. God,
okay.
No, there'll be someone else, which I can't reveal anything else yet.
Okay.
There's been a lot of meetings and planning. So, Dan and Joe, his wife, have been, central to running the business, because I think, doing this thing has really taught me a lot in my latter years of my own skill set, and you have to accept your own skill set. And one of the things that is entirely lacking from my skill set is running a business. I did try, and it was an absolute disaster. So part of Dan's job over the last 10 years, and Joe in particular, was tidying up my business, digital and financial legacy, because it was not an easy task. Absolute pig's breakfast. And so they've been amazing to take that on. And they came from a live events organizing background. That's what they did. That's how I met Dan. I was chairing talks at a conference that he'd organized. And so that was how that happened. But then they've both moved on. So Joe's now just been, I'm really pleased. They've done well out of it. She's got another job now, and she works full time for another company, and it's, in a different field. And because it's exhausting, absolutely. They work themselves to exhaustion to run not only the live events and organise the live events, but to run a business with, we had, I think, up to about 20, nearly 30 employees. It's a hugely complicated thing. I could not do it. And running, HR stuff and payment and tax and all that, I didn't do any of it. They've done all of it. And they have been amazing. And I think they're worn out, which I completely understand. And I think the thing I want to underline is there's no fallout. We're still very close. And he will still remain, but Dan will still be remaining involved in a sort of overview of the company on the board and all that sort of thing. Okay. So I completely support him wanting to move on. I completely understand it because it has been exhausting. Particularly, I think this year, it's been particularly tough in the UK until, what's ironic, until now he's leaving. Like the show in Twickenham, our last show, is going to be amazing. It's doing really, really well. So the thing has kind of turned around. The market has changed since January. The market here was, I think, quite depressed. The economy was quite depressed. There's something as a little bit of bounce we've had, so it's not quite as miserable and grim as it has been. And now the problems we're facing are very much environmental. The temperature is ridiculous. The lack of rainfall. It's the worst drought we've ever had. We're all in a drought now. The whole country is.
So the shows will go on. Sorry, the shows will continue beyond.
Yes,
beyond
absolutely.
This.
They may be there may be less of them because we've done 3 in the UK this year, so we may only do 1 here. But we're going to really try and do Australia and Canada next year because Canada are the same in a way. They've had this real big explosion in their electric vehicle uptake there. It's been a noticeable thing, and again, Chinese cars going into Canada. Really, it's not really started yet, but it definitely will.
It will.
The ramp up of it. Yeah. So those things are interesting, and I certainly don't. There's a whole chunk of stuff I shouldn't really talk about because there's a lot of things that haven't been finalised. But there's every intention is to continue to do the live events. It may be that they're running more separately. But I would still be involved with them, and so would the rest of the team. So it's not. We're really in flux at the moment.
Okay, but just to confirm, there will be an Everything Electric Lux, is my understanding, as you said.
Yeah,
that's
in Vaucluse.
Okay,
Everything
in
Electric
Vaucluse,
Lux, invitation only.
Bentley, Ferraris. Okay,
so we can expect you back in
Maybe.
Sydney next year as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Good. You'll come for that one, surely. Yes. Yes.
And it will also be all the vertical takeoff and landing executive planes will be there as well.
Oh, good.
Drones.
Yes, mass
and all the
market
war
vehicles.
machines. It'll be war machine robots by then, probably.
It needs to
I
be
mean, robots
really an
that
armament.
dance. Sorry, I mean robots that dance. Don't imagine a gun strapped to its back. Anyone looking at that? Yeah, okay, it's cool. It's totally
cannot
fine.
see. Where was I recently? Oh, Goodwood. There were lots of robots there, and I just always see them carrying a gun and chasing after me.
No, that's what they're made for.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they're made for. Yeah.
The 4-legged ones, because I've done a talk about robots, which is ridiculous. Having portrayed one. I mean, 2 of the things because I used to do a silly walk. Kryten, for your viewers and listeners that don't know, Red Dwarf is a BBC comedy show that I was in for many years, and I played a robot in it, a mechanoid to be accurate, and I did a sort of robot walk. Well, I've seen the latest biped robots. They walk like catwalk models. They don't walk like a robot. They're incredibly slinky, smooth walks.
Weird, sexy walk. Weird.
Kind of sexy. Yeah, I was a little bit.
That X-Plane robot was, I'm like, what?
I mean, I've always had an intimate relationship with electronic devices, but, those were a little bit alluring.
Do you think playing Kryten, was it Kryten, wasn't it? Or how do you pronounce it? Kryten. Sorry,
Kryten?
and I don't want to reveal an even larger gap in my pop culture.
Is it Kryten or Kryten?
Knowledge.
It's Kryten. Isn't it?
Well, it's Kryten, the spelling Kryten. Kryten.
Wow.
Yes.
Or Kryten. Shut up, Kryten. So do it in a Liverpudlian accent.
Did that prepare you unusually well for spending your later career talking to slightly unreliable computers? I mean, was that a good sort of precursor to?
Made me even more short-tempered. Because I love it. I love the fact that I'm hoping that the engineers behind the MG4 and numerous other vehicles where the software, I want them to listen to me. I want them to be spying.
I want
on
to
me
see that on film. I want that on YouTube. Yelling as in character at the ADAS.
I scream things that I will remove in the invective. Sit down on your beanbag, get out your laptop, and sort this out, you useless.
If he had an EV, Kryten, what would he drive? Do you think? What
It would be I think it would be a Renault Twizy.
Oh, nice.
A
There you
Twizy.
go.
The little Twizy, because it would remind him of bathroom fittings from the 1980s.
Perfect.
It would be easy to buff it up and make it nice and spotlessly. It's very easy to clean,
Perfect.
those cars. You just hose them down. I don't think I've never laughed as much driving through the middle of London as I did in a Twizy. I just was
Again,
in
another
hysterical
type of
laughter the
vehicle
whole
we
thing.
don't have here in Australia because apparently
Yeah.
that's deemed unsafe while we go
Wow.
driving past Rams.
Yes.
It's just,
I mean, there's
the logic
very
is
few,
amazing.
There's not a lot of them. I mean, there are one or two here. You do see them occasionally, but they're very common in the south of France. But what's actually overtaken them is the things like the little Citroën Ami. Those are
things are so
really,
cute.
those are every little Italian town we went to. There were dozens of those. They're tiny
Really?
because they can fit through the streets. The street's only that wide. I'm making a gesture of a very narrow street visually.
For those not watching on YouTube, yes. Yes. Are those like golf cart looking ones? They kind of
Yeah,
look like...
yes,
they're
and they
absolutely
got
You can't tell which is the
yeah.
front or
What-
the back. They're
You
so
can't
cute.
tell the front or back. And if you bash the front in, you could put the back panel on the front. It
On
would
the
still
front.
work. It'd be
Wouldn't
fine.
matter.
No, they're amazing little things. I mean, they've got like, I don't know what, 50 miles, 180 kilometers range, something like that. It's less.
What's the top
But
speed of one of
you're
those?
driving around a medieval Italian city. You're not going to go that
You're
far.
not going that fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's
Yeah.
the 0 to 100 kilometers? That's just what.
Yeah,
really
very
important.
important.
23
Probably
minutes.
25 minutes.
23 minutes.
If it's downhill, it's really quick. Yes, you're not buying a performance car. I'm trying to remember something that what was I driving? Oh, I know what I've driven, because you were asking. That was impressive. The smart #5 Brabus.
Ah,
I didn't know anything about it, and it arrived at the house, and I went, what's this? And I got in it, and then I went up the road to where there's a long straight road, and I did the 0 to 100k. It's close to Tesla ludicrous.
oh wow.
It's well under 3 seconds 0 to 60,
Ooh,
and it does
wow.
it without a blink. It's just devastating. Just
Hang on,
yeah.
do you get cars delivered to your house?
yeah,
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
what?
Yes, please.
it's nice.
Yeah.
I don't complain.
Sam and I just recently
I don't-
had the experience of having a car dropped at our homes because
Oh, right.
we're neighbours, really. It was
Right.
nuts, wasn't it?
Unusual.
lovely when they
We
get-
usually have to drive through about $30 worth of tolls in about
Yeah.
40 minutes to get our cars.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow! Oh god,
But
that's annoying.
dropped to our homes.
No,
the
they do.
Subaru.
Well, also, I mean, I live in the equivalent of the, I don't know what, not in a town. I mean, we're 100 miles outside London, so it's
Well-
quite remote, rural area. But
And they still drop it off to you. Wow.
They still drop it off and
That's
come
the
pick it up.
VIP treatment.
Wow, you asked for it.
I think they do it, but I don't think I'm being given special treatment. I mean, I think they go to other journalists all over the place.
I'm going to start
There's
demanding
a
that.
whole kind of little
I think
industry.
we need
of-
to start putting our foot down, Sam.
Well, I think we need
think you
cakes. And I think we need cars
Cakes?
delivered. We've got a lot to work on.
I
I'm
don't
not
get
happy
any
with the
cake.
way I'm being treated.
No. Don't they know
I'm
who
looking
you are?
forward to it. I don't think I've
Don't
ever
they
had
know who I
cake.
am? Oh my goodness me, Jesus!
All
Yeah,
right.
well, that car actually, Sarah, was the Subaru, and I don't know if you've driven any of the Subaru EVs, Robert, but they
No, I
are
haven't.
actually we've been very impressed with them,
Right.
particularly the Uncharted, which is
Which
their
is what was
small
dropped off.
sports EV, which is what they dropped off. Yeah, Sarah, you thought that was the top three vehicles.
I thought
you've
that
driven.
was
Wow. Okay.
Robert, that car drives so well. Like the
Wow.
Model 3, it just does something to you when you drive it. You're just like, this is.
Yeah.
And actually, the Trail Seeker was fantastic. Sam and I were on the launch for that. We went soft
Right.
roading. We went down gravel roads at
Wow.
45 degrees at one point
This is-
just held on, and it was
Sorry, and
such an impressive
I don't know
car.
if we got it here. I don't know if we have.
I don't know.
Subaru,
And then
what's
there's
it
also the Solterra. Do you have the Solterra? I assume.
called? Don't ask me.
Which
these
is basically
things.
the BZ4X,
Hmm.
pretty much.
Oh, okay, yes.
And the BZ4X
Yes.
Touring is the Trail Seeker, but the Uncharted
But what was the little
is a
one you were
CHR.
talking about?
The
much.
Uncharted. Yeah, the
Uncharted.
Yeah,
What a beauty. What an absolutely stunning car.
Oh, nice. Sorry, I'm just
Mm.
looking at it now. Oh,
Hmm. Very good.
Oh, okay.
And the Trail
right,
Seeker, maybe
okay.
it's called. Do they call it the Outback E in other markets? Is that?
They do. I
something
don't know what the
that's-
UK would be
Uncharted.
calling it.
UK.
Solterra.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I do know. Okay, so now I have to look at them to know. Solterra, I do know. But I don't. I'm not. I don't think I was aware of the Uncharted coming in 2026. It's not here.
It'll be
Possibly
it'll be
yet.
coming.
That's why we haven't seen it.
Mm.
Oh, that looks nice. It does look very nice.
Yeah.
because the other one I think it's worth mentioning, which was last year I had it, so it's not that recent. Xpeng G6, which I really like. I've driven it a lot in Australia. I had it here for a couple of weeks, and this is very quickly. I was driving back here from Scotland, so I'd done a long drive, and about 20 miles from my house, on the motorway, there's a services. So I stopped there for me. Absolutely for me. I had 40% left in the battery. It didn't need to charge to get back here. It was like another 30, 40 miles. But there were 350 kilowatt chargers there, and I couldn't resist it. There was a space. So I plugged it in.
Be wrong not to.
And ran, because I was desperate to use the facilities. Ran in, ran back. And when I ran back, it was at 93% charging at 210 kilowatts.
Boom.
Wow.
How? It was so... the thing was, I wanted a top-up. I wanted to add... I thought, I'll have a wee. I'll add £3 worth of electricity. No, I spent a fortune. It wasn't cheap. And I didn't need it. So
the new one's even quicker than that. The refreshed G6, it's ridiculously fast.
Yeah.
I think it's 800 volt
this
architecture as well.
This was definitely faster than I'd ever seen a car charge before. It was extraordinary.
That's amazing.
And a really comfy car on a long drive. Really nice vehicle.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes, that was
nice.
just remembered that.
All right. Well, Robert, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I don't know what time it is there. I think you're just starting your day over there in the.
We're just starting, and there's some people arriving
UK.
with stuff in a few minutes. So
is it cars? Are they arriving with cars?
It's not cars.
Bring a car to you.
Cars and cakes?
I'm just
Okay.
devastated by this
Paint
knowledge of car deliveries. I'm like, right, that's it.
Yeah.
Mate.
God, we've got work to do here. Okay. Well, I've got one final question for you, Robert. I think you've been sort of covering the electrification space for some time now. So if we were to fast forward 10 years, let's say about 10 years, what do you hope we'll be laughing about having once worried about?
I think it's going to be batteries. I mean, all the conversations I've had with people in the battery space, that's where the big changes are. I think you could sort of go, is there a science fiction new electric motor that's the size of an egg and is 1,000 horsepower? You never say never, but it's kind of doubtful. That technology is fairly, it's being refined, but the thing that's changing at incredible pace and materials used is batteries. And the new range of batteries that are emerging I think, could be game-changing. And I sort of have that vision that you have a box that's the sort of, I don't know, the size of a small box, but that is a 150 kilowatt-hour battery. And then it weighs 50 kilos. It doesn't weigh 350 kilos. I think that is the most likely thing that we'll see. And then you'll look back at cars now and go, oh my God, the batteries are just ridiculously huge and heavy and incredibly, they weren't very energy dense and they used terrible materials. But, that stuff is changing already. If you look back at my original Nissan Leaf, which is now 16 years old, that battery was appalling. It was terrible. And it was rubbish when it was new, and it's still rubbish now. And I'm just about to drive the new Leaf. I'm being lent a new Leaf, and they are completely different vehicles, and their range is extraordinary, and the way that it drives is, So that stuff, I think it's going to be batteries that will change. And also, I mean, we've just had this big launch here. There's a company called Llewellyn Energy doing sodium batteries, so no lithium at all. They're salt. It's a salt battery, effectively. This is for domestic use, and they have just been going gangbusters. People notice what that means. It's less volatile. It's more reliable. It's got longer lasting and very, very easy to recycle. The materials in it are really abundant. So those things, I think we're going to see the biggest changes there. And then that goes on to grid batteries. And the cost of grid batteries and the fact that grid batteries are an economically viable solution, that you can now put in, gigawatts of batteries. It's not cheap, but it's cheap, so much cheaper than it would have been 10 years ago. And I think in another 10 years, they'll be even cheaper. Yeah. And it's just, what do you do when you want electricity? You have solar, wind and batteries. I think that is.
That Australia has just hit 500,000 cheaper home batteries now installed.
Wow.
Since the 1st of July 2025. So extraordinary numbers.
Yeah.
I think when you were out here, it was less than
like
half that.
It was about 250,000, but it had happened in no time at all. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Home batteries. By the way, I just looked up the old Xpeng G6, as you said, 280 kilowatt DC charging, right?
Right.
The new one that's out, there's two variants, standard range, long range, 382 kilowatts DC charging for the standard range. Long range is 451 kilowatt DC charging. Isn't that bonkers?
Yeah.
Just plug in straight to the nuclear power plant.
Yes.
Straight from the source.
For people who are only listening, I was putting a face there that is an old man experiencing pleasure. That's all I want to say.
I've just screenshot it if anyone wants to see it.
Good.
Actually,
Well,
is anything
That is
debuting?
amazing. Wow.
Is anything debuting in Sydney? Is anything being
Yes.
revealed?
Yes, but
Quickly,
do I know
he's
what
looking
it
at his
is?
note. He's looking. Old man, looking at notes.
Oh,
Why are you looking through your notes, Robert? I'm just.
I
have
know.
to
I
say
should
that
know this.
your
Here we go.
insights-
Here we go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Go.
Okay.
Renault 5.
There are 10 new vehicle launching. There are 10 new vehicles are launching at the event.
Oh.
So the cars that are on display: Cadillac, Cherry, Horizon, Forthing.
Yep.
Okay.
Forthing.
I've not heard of them. GAC, Genesis, Great Wall Motors, Hyundai, iCar,
iCar.
iCar, IM Motors, JQ, La Paz, MG, Amoda, Polestar, Volvo, Weichai, and Zeekr.
Wow.
Where they're all displaying
New vehicles.
new
Wait a minute.
vehicles.
10. Yes, I think no, there's more than 10 there. So I don't know what the 10. I'm just now looking for the 10.
Amazing.
Oh,
That's exciting.
It's Marine Pavilion, electric boats. I'm really ashamed. I didn't know that. I knew about micromobility.
surely that's
I will be in
more
the
of a-
energy advice zone all over that thing, hosting stuff
Yeah.
about heat pumps and, electrification of your house and all that
Oh, there's
stuff.
there's a vehicle to grid zone showcasing the benefits of vehicle to grid with experts from Amber Electric
Yeah,
on
great.
hand to answer questions and run mini theatre sessions.
Well-
I want to go now.
We will be. Robert, you were on the panel last year for the Driven podcast that we did live at Everything Electric
Yes.
in Melbourne, and that was on vehicle to grid. We're doing that again this year.
Oh, good, good.
Obviously, you won't be on that panel. I mean, feel free to come and join if you
Come drop in.
feel. Why not? Drop
It's only
in.
up the road.
You might.
Yeah, that's right.
No, because I think it's so difficult to. I mean, the planning, everything's gone right. So, because Judy is going out to Australia to look after her mum immediately after the show. So, which is unconnected to the show.
Yeah.
There's her own arrangements with her family. But it's like, oh, she's going out now, and then she's coming back, and then she's coming out again in January. I was going,
It's okay. It's okay. We'll
You will be
manage.
missed, though, Robert. You will be missed.
you'll have a brilliant time, and it'll go much better because I'm not there. I think
Lies.
that's what's
All
Lies.
lies.
I'm going to hear about it. I'm going to be writhing in bitter resentment.
You're going to have
here.
so much FOMO. It's going to be so
I will.
excellent.
I will have FOMO. I have missed one show out of all the ones we've done. I didn't. I didn't go to the last show in Vancouver, and I did have real FOMO because it's an amazing venue
I
and
love
an amazing
Vancouver.
city.
I
Yeah,
actually went to Vancouver quite a few times. My ex was from Vancouver, and this was
Right.
over 20 years ago. All the taxis back then, 20 years ago, were hybrids. Even back then, they were Priuses. It was just
Yeah.
extraordinary. So I'm not surprised at all that you have said that they're having a big electric car.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, also, I think it's
Revolution.
partly there's a reaction to we can have Chinese cars.
yeah.
That our neighbours down south aren't allowed them.
Nah,
There's a lot. I
nah,
get loads
nah.
of. I love those comments you get from Americans going, "Oh, I bet you can get this in Canada. We can't. We're not allowed to have
Or
it."
Mexico.
Or
They'll
Mexico.
just drive
yeah.
casually over the border in their BYD and be like, lol.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yes, that would be your number plate. Lol, Canada.
Lol.
Lol.
They'll
all
get
right.
there.
Well,
They will get
I,
there.
well, I should let you go. I'll waffle on for. Oh yes, no, I must because people are coming any minute. Yes.
All right.
your cars are being delivered, Robert. You must go.
Yes.
There's a whole.
What
There's
there's
a
crew
queue
out
of
there.
Bentleys, Jaguars, Range Rovers, Ferraris
Ferraris.
outside. It's blocking the village. The centre of the village is terrible.
Well,
thank you
thank
very
you
much for having me on, though.
Yeah, well,
It's been
thank you
great
for
fun.
joining. It's always great to chat to you, Robert. It's always
So
nice
lovely to
have
chat.
have a yarn. We'll definitely miss you at the show upcoming, but we will be there, and I'm sure it'll be fantastic. So
Yeah, no, have a
So-
great time.
yeah,
I know you
yeah.
will. And I'm sure I'll see you next year when I'll be in Sydney quite a lot.
Yeah,
next
that'd be
year, so-
great. I'll channel
great.
my
We'll get you
inner
in.
Robert at
Yes,
the event.
we'll do our best.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll do our best.
My
Okay.
inner Kryten.
All right.
Guys.
Thanks, Robert.
Thanks, Robert. Take care. And that was Robert Llewellyn joining us there. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as Sarah and I enjoyed having it as well. Please don't forget to get your tickets, if you haven't already, for Everything Electric. As we said in the conversation, a really great opportunity just to check out a lot of electric cars, test drive them, a lot of other stuff around electrification in general as well. The Driven will be doing a live podcast on vehicle-to-grid technology, which we're very excited about. So if you haven't already got your ticket, you can use the code DRIVEN at the checkout for 30% off your tickets. Just Google Everything Electric Sydney and you will find the links to tickets there. Use the code DRIVEN for 30% off. Thank you to our sponsor, the Australian Electric Vehicle Association, for their continued support, and I'm sure they will be there at the Everything Electric show as well. So don't forget to go and check them out too. We're very excited for it. So we'll see you there, and in the meantime, we'll catch you at the next episode. Take care.
The Driven podcast was proudly brought to you by the Australian Electric Vehicle Association, Australia's leading voice for EV consumers and enthusiasts. The AEVA is a volunteer-run, not-for-profit community dedicated to electrifying Australia's transport as quickly as possible. So why not join the AEVA and support the transition to zero-emissions transport? Visit aeva.asn.au/membership.